Anyone remember what you get when you combine a hammer and a sickle? You get an... Yeah, that's right. I'm temporarily restarting the Cold War to provide you content to enjoy instead of doing your homework or job. Finish it, you lazy blet. Anyway, where were we? Oh, right. So if you don't know, the Soviet Union was divided into 15 Soviet Socialist Republics, SSR for short. These are Russia SSR, Ukraine SSR, Belarus SSR, Uzbekistan SSR, Kazakhstan SSR, Georgia SSR, Azerbaijan SSR, Lithuania SSR, Moldova SSR, Latvia SSR, Kyrgyzstan SSR, Tajikistan SSR, Armenia SSR, Turkmenistan SSR, and Estonia SSR. And just the same as with the USA, the Soviet Union has flags for each SSR. And today I'm gonna rank all the 15 Soviet Socialist Republic flags of the Soviet Union and also the flag of the Soviet Union too. I don't think I've ever said Soviet so much in my life before. In becoming one with the red Soviet vodka republics. Anyway, before I start, I just need to remind you that this ranking is purely focused on the flag and will not be influenced by politics or anything like that. So with that out of the way, let's get ranking. Starting with the Soviet Union themselves. Now, if I'm gonna be honest, I've always had a slight soft spot for the Soviet Union. It's just so impressive how big they got. And even though I live in a Western nation and have been taught at school that USSR equals big bad, they haven't done just bad things. Don't get me wrong, there is an obvious reason why the Berlin Wall fell. If it truly were a paradise, we would still have Ostdeutschland. There are several examples of good things they did. Like 1. They transformed from a mostly rural, agricultural society into a major industrial power in just a few decades. Secondly, they did many great things for space exploration. They had the first artificial satellite, Sputnik, the first man in space, Yuri Gagarin, and the first woman in space, Valentina Tereshkova. They were also the first to successfully land on Venus, a pretty big deal considering the conditions on the planet and the fact that the atmosphere is so thick it's impossible to see the surface. And they landed many times on Venus too with the Venera missions. And they didn't cry like a baby when they lost the space race. They actually congratulated the USA on landing the first man on the moon. And thirdly, they were a major contributor in defeating No Germany in WW2. They even helped liberate my country. Now, with that said, what do I think of the flag? I think it fits a big power like the Soviet Union. It's simple and basic yet demands respect. The hammer and sickle are there to remind you that this nation is communist. The star is a nice touch too. But if you don't like the symbolism, this is just a big red flag, hee. So with that said, it's not the best flag ever. But it will still go in S tier because I just think that it's way better than all the other flags on this list. So S tier it will be. Next is Armenia SSR. Now, I honestly don't like this as much as the Soviet Union. It's not the worst, but it's definitely worse than the Soviet Union's. I don't really like the dark blue stripe. It feels very out of place, so it's going in B tier. Just as with Armenia, I don't like the dark blue stripe on the Azerbaijan SSR flag. The only difference is that the blue stripe is on the bottom, so it's going in B tier too. I honestly can't even remember which is which half the time. But Belarus SSR doesn't have that issue. Why? It's literally just the same flag as they use now, except you don't have the hammer and sickle. So that means my opinion on this is the same as the modern Belarusian flag. I don't mind the carpet-looking pattern by the hoist of the flag, and the green adds just that little personality it needs for me to put it in a tier. Now we have one I don't like. Estonia SSR is next, and this doesn't look good. I really don't like the ocean on the flag. I also don't like that the blue doesn't extend all the way down. The blue and white just crashes with the red, which I don't like, so it's going in D tier. Georgian SSR is next, and I don't like this shit here. It's unique at best, but no D tier. Now we have Kazakh SSR, and I don't mind this one as much. In fact, I kinda like the contrast between the light blue and red. So it will go in a tier with Belarus.
Казахстан угрожает нам бомбардировкой.
Kyrgyz SSR is next. And this is just meh. I don't like the dark blue, but the white stripe in the dark blue is unique, so I guess C tier will do. Latvian SSR, just like Estonian SSR, is bad. The only thing they improve on is having the blue extend all the way down, but I still don't really like this. D tier. Lithuania SSR is the better of the Baltic sisters in my opinion. I've always associated Lithuania with green, so it's nice to see it represented on the flag. Now with that being said, I don't like the white, but it's good enough for B tier. Moldovan SSR is up next. Fun fact, this is actually the flag of Transnistria, a breakaway state from Moldova just like Kosovo except with barely any recognition. So the Moldovan SSR flag is nothing special. I'm kinda meh on the flag, so C tier it will be. Russian SSR is next. This is my favorite of the Soviet Socialist Republic flag, and that's just because the flag feels more structured than the others. I like the blue bar by the hoist of the flag. It demands respect in the way an older sibling would. If that makes sense. Basically, it looks respectable, but not to the point where it makes the others look less important. Basically, I like it, so a tier. Now we have Tajik SSR. I'm kinda on edge between D and F tier. It looks different, but I'm also not a huge fan of how the white dominates the green. You know what? F tier. I don't like it. The colors just clash too much. Turkmen SSR is next. It's unique with the double blue stripes, but they just take up too much space. So D tier. Now we have Ukrainian SSR. They put the light blue on the bottom, which looks okay, but it's not as good as a tier. It just barely misses out on a tier in my opinion, so B tier it is. Lastly, we have Uzbek SSR. At first glance they look good with the blue stripe in the middle, but if you look closely, you will notice some very thin white stripes on the top and bottom on the light blue stripe. I honestly don't like that, so it will go in D tier. And there you go, all the Soviet Socialist Republic flags ranked. If you enjoyed this, then hit the Loviet button, and if you want more flag ranking video, then maybe hit the social ride button, and if there is any suggestions you have for future ranking ideas, leave them down in the Communist Met section. And with that, I'll see you in the next